Hello, I am Ditas Samson.
I'm Tenten Mina.
And I'm Jei Ente.
We will take you on a tour of the exhibition Splendor, Juan Luna, Painter as Hero.
A critical aspect of the exhibition is the celebration of the 125th anniversary of Philippine nationhood. We recall that it was in Europe, as the early stages of modernity flourished, and through the arts, that the seeds of Philippine nationhood were sown.
Designed by Gino Gonzalez, the exhibition is structured like an enfilade, a series of rooms, one leading to the next. The doorways are aligned, and the viewer is given a vista into the next rooms, a common architectural style of grand palaces in the Baroque period that allows us to reveal and study multiple themes of the exhibition, anchored on a single painting. In the first series of rooms, we explore the significance of the painting, the life of Luna, and his sources of inspiration.
Paris, 1889. At the Universal Exposition, with the newly inaugurated Eiffel Tower, a painting by Filipino painter Juan Luna won a bronze medal. The Universal Exposition was a valuable platform for nations to demonstrate their progress and greatness to the rest of the world. Halls were built to exhibit each nation's achievements across various fields, such as engineering, the sciences, and the arts. Filipino ilustrados in Europe, most notably Jose Rizal, marveled at the sights of the fair and found renewed hope and fervor in their clamor for equality, even adopting the moniker Indios Bravos. One of the notable paintings in the Fine Arts exhibition was Juan Luna's Hymen o Hyménée, or Roman Wedding. This painting from the artist's private collection was submitted when the grander historical works La Batalla de Lepanto, a commissioned mural of the Spanish Senate, and Spoliarium were not allowed to leave Madrid. Though Luna was unable to present his two major historical canvases, he received praise for the strength and gaiety of his composition. Originally created during his honeymoon sojourn with Paz Pardo de Tavera. Already friends with her brothers Trinidad and Felix, Juan met Paz when he settled in Paris at the end of 1884. Paris was considered the capital of modernity and the arts in the 19th century. The French Salon was notorious for snubbing non-French artists, and yet Luna, a native of Badoc, Ilocos Norte, would be welcomed in the City of Lights.
Born to Joaquin Luna de San Pedro and Laureana Novicio, Juan was third of 7 children. Fond of drawing from an early age, Juan entered the Escuela Nautica de Manila in the hopes of someday sailing to Europe to study its civilizations. Whenever at port in Manila, he would take lessons under Lorenzo Guerrero, who would encourage the talented young man to pursue his artistic studies in Madrid. Juan would enroll at the Academia de Bellas Artes de San Fernando in Madrid in 1875. There, he formed a close relationship with his professor, Alejo Vera. When Vera took up a commission in Rome in 1878, he brought Luna with him. Juan traveled all around the Italian peninsula, but found the archaeological marvel, the city of Pompeii, the most alluring. The artist's fascination with Roman antiquity would manifest throughout his career. Luna first captured attention when he received a silver medal at the Exposición General de Bellas Artes in 1881 in Spain for his depiction of the death of Cleopatra. He would also receive a scholarship to pursue his further studies in Europe. Shortly after, he would paint his most famous work, Spoliarium. The massive canvas captivated audiences at the Palazzo delle Esposizioni in Rome, the Exposición Nacional de Bellas Artes in Madrid, and even years later at the Paris Salon de Peinture in 1886.
When Luna's Spoliarium garnered a first-class medal at the 1884 exposition in Madrid, it gave the artist unprecedented popularity. He was featured in Spanish gazettes for years to come.
Study of Luna's major canvases reveal, however, that the genius of Luna was achieved not only through technical skill, but by careful preparation and study. He drew inspiration from ancient Roman culture, tangible and intangible. Numerous sketches attributed to Luna depicting Roman architecture, furnishings, and human figures fill an album that belonged to Luna's mentor, Alejo Vera. Luna also studied and referenced literary sources in his paintings. La Bellezza Feliz y la Esclava Ciega from Edward Lytton's The Last Days of Pompeii, Spoliarium from Charles de Zobry's Rome in the Time of Augustus, and Hymen o Hyménée from the nuptial chant by the ancient Roman poet Catullus. It was an invocation to the god of marriage for a prosperous union.
Luna did several studies or poses of the women in Roman robes, modular units to be arranged in the final composition of the painting. Half kneeling with arms forming a circle or with arms raised or in profile, Luna organized these female figures for the central action in the wedding scene. This exercise recalls how French Impressionists and Garde de Gars assembled dancers and workers in their habitual or characteristic poses. Although the painting is set in ancient Rome, Hymen or Hyménée does not show the traditional or hierarchical order of gods or hero protagonists in most historical representations. The scene shows various figures in candid poses. These spontaneous and random glimpses, seemingly snatched from real life, may have resonated, appealed, and appeared fresh and modern in Paris at the turning point of a new century. Swift brushstrokes in vivid and vibrant colors conjured the expansive hall with the bridal party, flowers scattered on the marble floor, and incense smoke against the deep red walls. The bride is located off-center to the left. She is a small figure shrouded by a veil and appears removed from the surrounding festivities. She appears alone, dazed, and vulnerable. A small tortoise on the floor is a symbol of the bride, happy and submissive in the privacy of her home. There is no groom visible in the depicted scene. Instead, he is represented in the luxurious interiors of the inner courtyard or atrium. Lavish architectural details and furnishings, the walls painted in a rich Pompeii red with mythological murals, hanging oil lamps, and other ornaments represent the groom's richness and erudition, and embody Luna's genius and skill in the art of painting. For more information and analysis of the details in the painting, please watch the notes on the painting with Dr. Ambeth Ocampo in the museum website.
The design treatment of the galleries from here on give a sense of decay and dilapidation. It is to suggest that significant time has passed since the biographical and historical events discussed in the previous rooms. Here, we explore the idea of the painter as hero, examining how the life and legacy of Luna is commemorated and memorialized.
In this last section, we are invited to think about how we remember the legacy of Luna in our time and what was the role of painters in the emergence of a Filipino consciousness and aspirations for independence.
The post-war years were a crucial period in nation building. There was a widespread effort to recognize historical events and figures that contributed to the concept of Philippine nationhood. Luna, for his association with the propaganda movement and his glorious artistic success in Europe, was among them. Official and private commemorative activities were held during his birth centennial in 1957. It was during this time when restoration of Luna's ancestral home in Badoc was completed, and the repatriation of the spoliarium from Madrid, Spain, was negotiated. Soon after, monuments, streets, and buildings were named in honor or in memory of the great Filipino painter. Seeing the spoliarium in the National Museum of Fine Arts is where our collective memory of Luna is primarily enshrined today. But between Luna's success with spoliarium in 1884 and the exhibition of Hymen o Hyménée at the 1889 Paris World's Fair is a large and accomplished body of work that escapes popular consciousness.